G'day mate and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. So, we're up here, we're picking up section of the base, and what I've actually done is, in my magic blueprint book, I've already picked up red and green sites. So they're actually going to be the first two builds we put down. I'll get this train running at least. And the reason we're going to put these guys down first, like right beside where new science is, and it's counterintuitive, but the main reason is belt compression. So we know at this end we have 14 belts total. Right, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. 8 belts total. That's all we need. So at this point, we're really down on belts. Because most things will have already been compressed down to your red, your green sites. Okay, the main reason we're going with red and green at the end, and I'll just bring up max rate calculator. So, per minute. So this does 3,000 items, which is our goal. It actually goes well over, but that's a goal. We want express belt. So it uses 0.9 of a belt of gears with 0.9 a belt of copper. Okay? Total. So it's 1 belt of copper and 1 belt of gears. We already all know 1 belt of gears is 2 belts of iron. So at the point we've got to red science, we're down to a belt of copper and 2 belts of iron. Or a belt of gears if I've already compressed them down to gears already. Right? Same goes for green science. Green science is 3.5 belts of iron and almost a belt of green circuits. That's its inputs. Right, because we're making gears on site, for this one, which it looks like has belt stubs, which we're going to have to remove. And get green circuits into this, because I screwed up again. So, like I said, the builds, when they get to the end, are going to be very, very, very small. Now, because this train station's in the way, I am going to build things a little bit out to the side. But we will have Roboport coverage. And I want to, wherever possible, have Robo coverage between builds. I really think it's going to be important in the long run. We do have Logibots, right? We do have, we've got 1.5k substations. JD, where are your substations requests? You don't have one. Give me 50 substations, please. Thank you. No, not quite fully in build zone. Come on, power up. About here. Place that down. We'll rip all these up because they're going to be in the way eventually. And we go back to our blueprint book. 68 labs, green science. And anywhere possible... Oh, bugger, I can't overlap the beacons. I could if I reversed it. I could have the green beacons overlap. But again, compression matters more. We really don't care about a tiny bit of resources at this point. So, I gotta remember how I did this. It would help if I could see. Okay, so let's go up here. Red science. No. Filter deconstruction. Keep those. No, other way around. Blacklist. No. Maybe I had it right the first time. It didn't click. There we go. What? Blacklist. That. You gonna work this time? Third time lucky. Okay, so we're gonna scrap all that. Green science, we've got iron iron, green circuits, iron, iron. So the green circuit's the one being split. And we're saying this has a whole belt of iron, does it? Yeah. .3 belts of iron to produce 0.8 per... Oh, let's go to per second. So to make... per minute. So that makes the 3000. We need to feed it with 36. You've got speeds and prods and you don't. So straight away there's something wrong. You'll do 20. And you'll do 15. Well, that's not quite enough. So if I feed a whole belt into this one, you'll do not quite enough. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change some of this build. We're going to request stuff. Come on, bots. Do we have any undergrounds? Please. Please. Yeah, keep the inventory nice and full. Okay, so we're going to change this to be iron. I am going to need a heap of these. So I'm going to change this one to iron. I really want... Make more. Come on. I want that one done. And I want you to be iron. You're missing speed modules. Train. Why are you not bringing enough speed modules? Go there. Give me some speed modules. Alright, we'll just go look at the other build again. Green science. So, if you take in a full belt of iron, you won't quite output enough stupid inserters. But we don't need a full belt of inserters. We just need almost a full belt. We need 36 or 37, whatever it was. So let's take a full belt in here and a full belt in here, and then we'll probably still run circuits across the front. I think that's the way to do it. So, oh no, this was a circuit line. That's why it's split. So that was circuits to here and excess iron to there. Where are we? That's the build I want. So it's excess iron into this machine. This machine uses 27. That uses an extra 20 iron. So we leave the green circuits as is. That will work. Okay, so let's leave the green circuits. Let's pull this up. Oops, I wanted that bit. But we'll pull up that part, which means I can also pull it up here. But one thing I will have to do is I will have to find a blank blueprint, like so. Blueprint that. I'm going to remove those two and put the blueprint down to copy across the modules. We're going to remove the belt stub here. And of course it's right where the train track is. I'm going to make sure we mark every single one of these as we go. It's going to be so important later that we can look up and down and just know where to plug things in. You were also missing... no, you make belts. Yeah, you don't need any green circuits. But you do need belt stubs going away. So we're going to go there and actually to there. there and there. Copy, copy, paste, paste. It just simplifies builds a little bit as well, which is I'm never going to complain about when things get easier with this belt base. So you, which again I can't see because you full yet, train? 1.6. A bit of everything. Come here. You need a lot of inserters because you're going to actually output like 37 per minute, and you use 45 iron in. So we might be able to take a little bit of excess iron off this one and run it into these two builds when everything goes live. We won't know until we start plugging things in. And I do think at some stage there's probably going to be the honest case where I need to go right back to the square one and add an extra smelter for something like iron to then run it all the way up a giant bus to a build that's probably right at the end somewhere that just needs just a little bit more iron to get us up to the ratio we need. These little green science machines, again, we're going up here so I can actually bring up max rate calculator. These will keep the belt stubs because we're only putting in 1.3 items per second. I did have somebody point out in the comments, and I'm sure they're right. If I had a single stack inserter to play with. Okay, so let's go this machine, change you. You're going to make explosives. I'm going to make train track, because I have train track on me, but I don't have. Okay. Alright, we're going to have to come back to that one. Because this is on the wrong side, I've been told, and according in the comments, and according to my notes, that's what was said, and I never got around to actually fixing it and confirming it. And I trust chat. Oh well, I trust you guys in the comments. I'm gonna be pretty sure that it's broken and I did it wrong, but I won't actually know until I can test it again. And of course, whilst missing all the components, it's pretty hard to test. Let's get our roboports put down. And the idea is we can just, a lot of this will just self-build. It'll take a while, but you know, we're not really in a rush. We are, that's a problem. I love that sound still. Okay, so that's the last build, I hope. So I can take that blueprint, scroll all the way up here to green science, slice the last two, paste them here like that, and then just confirm that that is 24 assemblers. Go to here. There's 27 assemblers. Is it because I can't see some of them? 27, yeah. Because there was some fog of war right in the middle. It didn't count them, which is stupid. Alright, so that's our first two big pieces of compression. Now, if you remember, lubricant is right here. So at this point is where I really, really, really need to fit in electric engines. So that's one we're avoiding for the moment. Okay, hang on. We need that to be set to those, and all of that packed up and gone away with. So I don't want to do engines yet. I'm looking for the reverse of compression. So I'm looking at something that doesn't take in a lot of stuff, probably has a very long craft time, and just spits out a little bit. So let's look at purples. So that has on a express belt. So it takes in half a belt of that and half a belt of that and puts in 2 belts of that. So it's actually going from a belt, because if both these are on a belt, it'd be a belt's worth of materials to put out 1.2 belts. So again, that is the exact opposite of compression. We're actually going to take 1 belt into this build and put out 2 belts. So we want production science. Change that to a purple one. Okie dokie. Go to there. Put that in there. If anybody suggests, so normally in your tech, you'd normally end up doing blue science here next. And I'll confirm, but I'm pretty sure this is 3 belts in for 1 belt out. So again, that actually compresses. So I want that further down the bus than purple, obviously. So where's my blueprint book? Right there. Go away. We don't want green science. We want red science. We don't want 68 labs. We want production science. And hopefully, there we go. Beacons line up. More combinators needed. And as with the green science, this will self-build mostly. We will go double check the end. Yeah, I figured that we'd have a problem. And we're going to need... Really? Wow. I was going to say, not have explosives. That'd be horrible. Alright, put that there. Zoom. Where is that blueprint book? I don't think I can see to place it. Oh. There. Okay. So that's up and running. We need to remove more roboports. Sure, that one's got to go away and that one's got to go away because they're going to get in my way sooner or later. So that means same story, production science. Set that to substations again, blacklist, and we're going to pull up that whole build. And the reason I'm pulling out the substation is I want to make sure power stays. Okay, so we're here, and again lubricant is here, so let's do a map marker. Oh, I want to pick a fluid, I want to pick a lubricant, so lube's there. I'm guessing the next thing we could probably put down so this is 5 belts of steel into half a belt. So I was thinking about furnaces next, but honestly I want furnaces right at the other end, as close to steel as possible. Yellow science. So yellow science is, we're looking at the raw copper. So it's 5 belts of copper, which is a lot of copper. 1 belt and a half belt. So it's, and another half belt. They're sharing a belt. So it's 1 belt, 2 belts. So it's 3 total, plus 6. It's 9 belts worth. And that's the other thing. The bus will always keep getting wider the further we go down. So as I said, at this point we had like 2 belts worth of materials, 3 belts worth of materials. Here we had 5. Purple, actually, technically, we've only got 1 belt of materials. But as we go further and further down the bus, builds will get wide. Well, builds will get... The bus between the train track and here will have got wider and wider and wider because we'll have more and more materials that we're trying to move around. So you're 9 belts of material. High tech. Now, high tech's a whole unit. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and a bit. 12 and a bit belts down to output half a belt, because high-tech runs a lot slower. I do need to buffer high-tech onto a belt, either onto a belt straight out or via boxes, because that build only does 1,000 packs, not the 3,000 like everything else. What else? So you need to go near red and green science. You need to go further down the bus. You need to go right after, I think. Speed ones. It says 2 belts in for 1 belt out. Actually, how about the whole rocket build? How about the whole rocket build? The rocket build's an odd shape. It's still not quite complete. We did have some tidying up to do. So the rocket build is going to be... Good question. Okay, so the rocket build is going to be... This is how we get it. We get the output of this. So it's going to be 3 belts in plus satellites. So 4 belts in for 1 belt out. I think as far as compression goes, it's probably the satellites, you know, would be around about here, right at the top of the bus. Like rocket control units depend on this speed module 1 build, which depends on red circuits and green circuits. And again, it's down to compression. So this is 6 belts of each in for 1.2 belts out. So as soon as we've got red and green on the bus, 12 belts will straight away go into this build. So we've only got to bring 1.2 belts out. The battery and the accumulators are dependent on acid, which is way down here on the... Way down here. Right there, actually. Acid. Green circuits depend on iron and copper. Red circuits depend on plastic, which means even further down. The satellite build depends on a little bit of everything. So it needs... Huh? Oh, we're not running at full speed. So let's try and... go away. Let's do the top half. So top half is 4 belts of iron, 3 belts of green circuits, which is probably wrong because I don't think it'll actually need to run that fast. Oh, actually, let's. Okay, so this part, it is, yeah, 3 belts, 4 belts, plus another 2 belts, plus a tiny bit of iron. Yeah, we got an iron belt here. No, iron's already been calculated. Where the hell are you getting green circuits from? Oh, it's iron there. Okay. So that's green circuits. It's like 8 belts in for 1 belt out, because that's just going to have 1 belt of satellites that just slowly work their way up the front. Alright. So, blueprint. New blueprint. We're going to have a rocket silo, please. Rockets. We want a silo icon along with that one. And we want to open our lovely book and put that straight in there. Okay. Green, red, 68 labs, rockets. Now I will have to give myself a little bit of room for this one, because I've actually still got a spaghetti belts both in and out of this build yet. So I have I have no splitters. Bots, give me splitters. Please. I'll do it. Okay. Give me more stuff, bots, please. Please, please, please. Actually, let's go with red belt. So I could have a satellite right in on a red belt. That's not an issue. At all. I have it right over there. I could have it spaghetti its way. Hang on. Belt would have to come with an inserter here and then up, around, down. That was a beacon. That was an important beacon. Put it back. Like nobody saw that. Nobody. So I could put an inserter there. We then take red underground and go back to there. And actually that's all I need. I just need that inserter coming out, putting there. Okay, so then we could do with imaginary fast inserters. Stack inserters rather. To output, 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 output. I think this is going to be my cure. Just doing it like this. Nothing fancy, just dumping the science onto a belt. Combinator. There's one in the inventory. I'm going to call you... where the hell's satellites? Right there. Okay. Alright, I think that's done. I think that's done. So I'm going to look at my great list of all the stuff. Purple science is done. Okay, hang on. Purple science might be done, but it's prerequisites are just the same as space science is also not done. Well, it's done, but its prerequisites aren't. Okay. We're making progress. It's a little bit slower than I'd like. I would have loved to have had the offline time to make a nice little diagram and plan out the belts and all that sort of stuff. But then you miss out on me doing things live and potentially screwing them up. Because I've got to get 4 belts in this gap and I've only got room for 2. Because I need these two, actually, and those 2. So I need to get 5 belts in this gap, and I've only got room for 2. So, this is why we have blueprints. Oops. Everything. Sure. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a space. Just in case. Look, I'm even going to set you back just a little bit. Alright, Roboports. We'll just drop one of them here to keep the whole range thing going. We'll hook a power up to make sure it's powered. And then, yeah, now that I've placed that down a second time, I'm going to leave this episode here. So, thank you guys for watching, as always. I do hope you're enjoying the series. Thoughts, comments, suggestions, all that sort of fun stuff down the bottom in the comment section. As I said in the last episode, if you'd like to get a copy of these blueprints, share the video, like the video. I'm aiming for that 20%. That's all I ask. 20% of you, on average, hit the like button, hit the share button, get the word out there that we are going to be hitting Factorio below the belt. We're going to do 3,000 science packs per minute on belts, on a computer that is 5 years old. That's the thing. It's a 5-year-old PC. I think it's a Gen 2 or it's a Gen 3 i7. It's a Gen 3 i7. It's that old. Yeah. None of this really high tech pushing the limit stuff. We're going with the old stuff. All right, which also means that that can go as well. We might keep the robot port and the robot port. But that's one more build down. So I'll see you guys in the next episode where we put down another build. Thanks for watching.